We're building an application that teachers can use in the classroom to assess all of their children on a regular basis to monitor their language and literacy development towards becoming confident readers.
I'm Alicia Wackerly-Holman. I'm a senior researcher here in the Department of Educational Psychology.
And I'm Scott McConnell. I'm a professor of educational psychology, and I work with Alicia and our colleagues at IGDILab. About 4 years ago, we started working with MentorMate to essentially move those assessments over to a digital device, to an iPad.
The app is designed to really facilitate teachers' review of the data and immediately consider what they could do differently with the children in their classroom to improve their language and literacy outcomes. And that fluidity by having the data right in front of them in an app-based platform, we think really helps with that.
Before we had the apps, we were sending people out with physical cards that kids were looking at and pieces of paper that they recorded, that the research assistants recorded the responses on. And then we key punch those into a computer database and analyze them from there. It was expensive to print the cards, it was cumbersome to get the cards to the people who needed them, it was expensive to collect the data that way. I mean, nothing but challenges that we'd been dealing with for years and years and years, so we were used to it. But now we can deploy a new build of the app pretty much instantly. Data collection is embedded in the process, so as the children and examiners move through the assessment, the data are being recorded on the back end. It's easy for us to download the data that are already coded and ready for analysis, so a lot of the logistics of doing research have really gotten easier.
We do have good friends in Bulgaria.
That's right.
We've worked with a whole host of folks over there. Our nearest and dearest were Desi originally, and then Yorgi is now our sort of lead designer. And then we have the QA team. We have a Stan over there. We've had, I think, 4 different Dimitars on our team. I feel like we've got to know a lot of different folks in Bulgaria, and I often wonder if they ever sleep because I'm sending emails. You know, we're working through Jira during our typical workday, but they're really responsive and helpful, and they've taught us a lot, I think, about learning how to think about app design, and hopefully we've taught them a little bit about early childhood and what that looks like. But yeah, it's been a really fruitful relationship, I think, for us in this process.
My experience of working with MentorMate is sort of like my experience of learning to downhill ski. That you have to learn to just push off and go. I think that we've learned that the perspectives that the project managers and the coders bring to the task is different than the one we have. And that really sort of the sweet spot that we want to try to achieve is a melding of their perspectives and ours.
Every week when we were having our stand-up call, those fluidly interacted, that we had good interactions between the project manager working with the team to sort of get us on page on Jira, where, how we were tracking all the stories that we were working on, and then also a good follow-up from the team in Bulgaria as the work was actually happening.
I continue to be surprised by the things that we're learning, the things that we're able to do, the things that we can't do, and that you really do, I think, have to sort of trust the process. It's, these are people that do it all the time, and we do it occasionally. I think we've learned a lot about sort of design, deployment, data management, and drastically increased our efficiency about those things. We don't know what to do with our file cabinets now because they're getting emptier and emptier.